Hello. Сәлеметсіздер ме, құрметті әріптестер?
You know me?
Оспан ағай бүгін сізді экзаменатор қыламыз деді.
Қалай?
Экзаменді диссоветтің құрамында отырасыз. Солай деп
Жақсы.
Рахмет сізге.
Ms. Jaina, Professor Gulzhaina is joined the meeting?
I see not yet.
Not yet.
Yes.
Because he is examiner for this doctoral exam. So if it's not come, we will change another person.
Okay.
Yang belum usaha dia.
Mario muda.
Gulzhaina?
Я Оспан ағай тыңдап тұрмын сізді.
Құлсариева кірмеді ма?
Құлсариева сол болмай тұр, мен 2 рет звондадым. Ассистент, телефон көтермеді, что-то ассистенттері. Кеше барғам, алдына тоже есігі жабық болды.
Ана кісінің енді әрекеттері шығар енді.
Кіру кірмеуі не обязательно.
Олар айтты ғой, ол кісі кірмесе біз замена жасаймыз деді ғой, қазір айтты ғой.
Не обязательно ол шетелде қорғағанда ондай.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues.
Hello, Professor.
Good afternoon, Miss. After the key substitution. Yes. Also, good afternoon, Professor Sunil Paraj. Thank you for your coming.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Very good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Also, Professor Sakit Hussain. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for too. I'm very glad to see you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, me too.
Welcome to Indonesia. Through visual visit. Terus Diana, mau sini.
Oh iya. Bukan, dia dulu.
Okay, Miss Gulzhaina, we will start the doctoral program exams because now is at 2 p.m. o'clock of Indonesian time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon. Assalamualaikum. Selamat sore. Selamat siang. It's okay. Selamat sore. Indonesian language. Maybe Gulzhaina is now about the selamat sore.
So may I start or you?
No, I will introduce of the examination doctoral program before you start the presentation. Okay.
Thank you.
The Honorable Supervisor and Co-Supervisor, Professor Dr. Osman S. Sangibayev from GNPU Kazakhstan University, Professor Dr. Aijerim and Koserbayeva from AB GNPU Kazakhstan, also Professor Dr. Muhammad Bruri Triyono, MPD from Yogyakarta State University, the Honorable International Review, Dr. Nicole Klein from Heidelberg University, Germany, Dr. Manim Revi Lipa from Socio-Economic Faculty, OMS Humanitarian Academy, Russia, distinguished examiner, Professor Dr. Kulsariyeva Aktolkin Turkhan Kisi from APGNPU Kazakhstan, Professor Parjono Pitsi from Yogyakarta State University, and Professor Dr. Putu Sudira from Yogyakarta State University. And Promopenda, Ms. Gulzhaina Uralbiva Kasimova, special guest from Al-Farabi University, Satbayev University, Koja Ahmed Hussein University, and audience of this binational doctorate program defense. Also, Ibu Rosdiana Murtiningsih and Ibu Nur, translator from Indonesian Embassy in Kazakhstan. Ladies and gentlemen, we will all praise to God you mightily for His blessing and joy upon us, so that this afternoon we can hold this binational doctorate program defense for Ms. Kasimova or Ms. Zaina. We will start the examination by the prayer. Pray to the God shall be. Thank you very much. Firstly, as a chair of this board examiners, I would like to ask if the examinee is ready. Are you ready, Ms. Kasinova or Ms. Zaina, for presentation and for exam? To Zaina, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. Can you hear me?
Okay. And you is a good condition or a good health?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Are you in a good health? Health.
Just 1 moment.
Okay. I think you are you ready for this examination? Well, then in the first session, the examinee, Mr. Gulzhaina, will present a research briefly in not more than 50 minutes.
Okay, I will try to manage time.
Start your presentation for this examination. Time is yours, Mr. Gulzhaina.
Okay, thank you very much, dear professors, dear guests. Thank you very much for opening such kind of opportunity to me to present my research work today at Yogyakarta State University and Aba University. Thank you very much. Let me start. Today's topic is about formation of students' cognitive competence based on e-learning system. This dissertation work was performed under the bilateral dual degree PhD program between Abay Kazakh National Pedagogical University and Yogyakarta State University between 2017 and 2020. Research relevance. Online education takes its root in 1886 by Skinner. He introduced the spelling machine at this time, but even this online education has a long history. It has still research relevance due to current global situation. E-learning gets more important than ever, and it needs also to be studied personality culture according to students' learning styles. And there is also a lack of methodological support for effective work in an innovative mode in the e-learning environment. And that's why there is a controversy in research for cognitive development of students in e-learning environment. Scientific apparatus, it has own purpose, object, subject, research hypothesis, research tasks, and leading idea of research and scientific novelty and theoretical significance of the research. All the information is written in the introduction section of the dissertation. So scientific novelty of theoretical significance of the research is first, the formation of students' cognitive competence based on the e-learning system is theoretically substantiated, and methodological approaches to e-learning system are identified. And second, the modern didactic possibilities of artificial intelligence and problem-based learning in the formation of cognitive competence of students are substantiated. Also, effectiveness of programs and elective courses, methods of formation of cognitive competence of students in the e-learning system has been proven in practice, and the model was developed and implemented in the practice. Next, defense provision, significant culture of cognitive competence based on the e-learning system, structural meaningful model, and cognitive competence of students, and also elective course, CLIL, CALA, PBL, EL, PSS technologies used. According to the analysis of the information, we collected some information about online education system worldwide. There are a lot of universities who are very successful in delivering online education. For example, in developing countries, India, China, Turkey, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, South Africa, and Nigeria take the leading places in delivering online education. And also there are most popular universities who deliver successful online courses. Also, India takes the first place, as can be seen from the table. And in the United States, there are mega universities such as Arizona State University and New York University. They are also successful, and they plan nowadays to get more students by 2025. Next, what is cognitive competence? We collected some information by different scientists. Competence implemented in the science firstly by White in 1958, for the first time. It was like motivation in psychological science. And according to Cambridge Dictionary, competence means ability. According to Sam and Hugh, competence means cognitive processes, which consists of creative and critical thinking abilities. According to Kazakhstani scientist Absapva, it means integrative unit of knowledge and skills. Also, other researchers says that it's interconnected basic qualities of a person, also ability and independent cognitive activity of students. According to this analysis, we came up with our own ideas about cognitive competence. So competence is the ability of an individual to apply theoretical knowledge in life. Cognitive competence is the ability to effectively plan and organize activities, conduct experiments, research, acquire new knowledge, analyze critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and demonstrate one's own actions. So what does it mean, e-learning? E-learning has also now unique definition. It's defined differently from distance learning to computerized electronic learning. For example, Nicole Flint, she believes that e-learning is a continuation of computer-based technology in the context of the new media of method of virtual knowledge transfer and can only exist in the context of blended learning. And another research states that e-learning refers to educational process that use information electronic technologies to be a link between synchronous and as well as asynchronous teaching learning activities. And based on this analysis, we came up with another concept. E-learning is a very convenient student-centered teaching approach. It is a kind of education for those who know own learning goal and try to achieve it by e-learning system. Methodological approaches. Here are two types of groups who are opposite to each other. For example, two approaches presented by two groups of theories. It's about the most extensive group of developmental theories believes that the formation of human knowledge about the world occurs gradually and depends on the action with objects, the study of the environment. This line was laid by Berkeley, James, and another approach postulates the opposite. Cognition is improved not on the basis of action and perception, but according to its own laws. Initial concept from the core of most later concepts. So being enriched and becoming more detailed as a student accumulates experience and they ensure the progress of knowledge. This was laid by Plato and Kant. So three approaches in modern teaching practice. They are learning styles and metacognitive approach and intersubjective approach. Learning styles, students belong to different personalities, and metacognitive approach refers to different skills. And intersubjective approach is related to cybernetics. There are different models in using e-learning materials in education. For example, Lukin and Kufarova argue that research from the learning sciences needs to be assimilated into three types of computational models. The first is pedagogical model, domain model, and the last is the learner model. They are interrelated to each other. And also, according to the Russian scientist Zinchenko, she developed cognitive processes in a model. This perception and recognition, memory and recognition, thinking and cognition, attention and recognition are interrelated to each other. For example, the first one, if the student sees, detects the situation and then identifies the action. And next, situation will be remembered and stored in a long-term memory. And then the experience will be thought and analyzed in the memory process, and in the end, active process and passive processes take place. It means if student has experience about the information, they will be very active. If they don't have any previous knowledge, they cannot understand the information given by a professor or by e-learning system. According to this theoretical analysis, we came up with our qualitative change chain of the students' cognitive competence based on the e-learning system. There should be some instructions. First, preparation of problem-based tasks, very important, and data collection. Open students' full potential depends on the teacher, and utilize the acquired knowledge in practice depends on students' knowledge after graduating from the university. Also, artificial intelligence in the future has its own potential. That's why the tasks should be very challenging. For example, nowadays we have noted that most exam tasks like rote learning, question and answer, they just choose one correct answer. But in e-learning system, it should be very challenging, and the students' human abilities and skills should be generated, and in the future, integrated artificial intelligence should be implemented in the education system in order to unlock students' potential ability and provides personalized learning. For this process, we offer problem-based tasks, very important to challenge the tasks, because students, when they work on problem-based tasks, they get deeper into the situation, and they can use their theoretical knowledge, and then afterwards they can train it in the simulators, and if they fail, they can train it again and again, and they become professionals in real life. Autonomous learning to cognitive engagement is also very important. If students, they work independently, they get more information and more knowledge. They also will be able to analyze the situation and to come up with their own theories. For example, in language teaching, if a teacher presents the grammar rules, like in the table, different students have different own ideas. For example, they can formulate personal, first singular and plural forms. They have the same instruction, but in the third form, the verb gets S, and afterwards they can get compare their ideas with the textbook. They can check their knowledge. But problem-based learning has also its own drawbacks. For example, if a student doesn't have any experience in life, they cannot solve the problem. It will be very challenging task to solve the problem if the previous knowledge is missing. We also observed the process of first education platform at Sapphire University. At the beginning, there were students at elementary level, but after 3 months, they showed the positive development, and they used e-learning materials properly, and they could be successful in learning. Here, we developed also diagnostic map to assess the structural components of cognitive competence. It consists of 3 sections: in motivational activity component, informational activity component, and reflective activity component. Each component has its own indicators and levels to be checked. Also, we offered a mechanism for formation of students' cognitive competence. It consists of 3 stages. Here, structural components and levels of cognitive competence at 3 levels: high, average, and low level. We assess this according to the diagnostic map. This is a model how to form cognitive competence of students. It consists of 8 stages. The first stage consists of definition of goals, principles, conditions for the formation of students' cognitive competence. The second stage involves the definition of conditions and methods, means, forms that support the process of forming cognitive competence. Stage 3 involves the recognition and the importance of the formation and development of cognitive competence. And stage 4 is associated with the isolation of criteria and planning diagnostic of the formation and development of students' cognitive competence. And stage 5 includes conducting the input diagnostics of the level of formation cognitive competence. And stage 6 is associated with the implementation of the content of the procedures for the formation and development of students' cognitive competence. And stage 7 includes the output diagnostics of the formation and development of students' cognitive competence. And stage 8 includes detailed reflection of the learning outcomes, including the formation and development of cognitive competence based on the e-learning system. And this stage is also associated with the completion of the model of the formation and development of cognitive competence into practice of digital learning and teaching students in other formats, organizing didactic interactions. Here, I would like also to draw your attention that cognitive development, formation of cognitive competence also related to stress level. If a student feels very stressed, there won't be a cognitive development. Let's have a look, please. Okay, for a while, downloading. Yeah, I will continue. So we also conducted a survey about stress in education system, and the results show that mostly almost 90% of students they felt stress. And they also complained that they need stress management techniques during educational process. It doesn't go. Let's.
Okay, finish.
No. Let's close it, and I will reopen it. I wanted to show the results based on the model, mostly that one. We had a positive development in formation of cognitive competence based on e-learning system. As can be seen from here, we conducted some survey about positive motivation. We checked that students showed positive motivation using e-learning materials. Here we developed some problem-based tasks according to students' experience. Also, here is a criteria how to assess their knowledge and formation of cognitive competence. As a result, we get such kind of result. As can be said, at the beginning it was 5.1, but at the end it developed to 8.6. It means students' cognitive competence can be developed according to e-learning system. So in conclusion, if the proposed model is properly used in the higher education system, we can get formation of cognitive competence in students. And the research prospects, there are different research prospects because we had some limitations in research, and this kind of information, for example, e-learning system should be very brain-friendly and stress-free. Also recommend some didactic methods should be further researched. Thank you very much for your attention. Here you can see our internship at 3 different universities, at Heidelberg University, at Yogyakarta State University, and at Bergen University during my PhD degree program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jaina, for your presentation. Please close your share screen. Yes, close your share screen. Can you close? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next section is for the promovenda to defend for her dissertation on the basis of question and objection for the board examiner. Number one, the first examiner, Professor Parjono PhD from UNY Indonesia. I think I have time about 50 minutes. This time for US to ask and advise Ms. Jaina. Please, Mrs. Jaina, hear the question or advice from Professor Parjono.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, please, Professor Parjono, time is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Hasimufa Gulzhaina. How to call you, Miss Gulzhaina or Miss Gulzhaina? Which one? Gulzhaina?
Gulzhaina. Gulzhaina.
Okay, Miss Gulzhaina.
You can call me Jaina.
Jaina. Familiar in Indonesia name is Jaina.
Jaina. All right. Good afternoon. In Indonesian time, welcome to Indonesia. Even although through online visit. All right. I'm happy to read your dissertation, your document. Although the comments coming last night and this morning, I tried to scan the dissertation or the document, your dissertation document. But I'm happy to read your dissertation. Yes, I've already scanned your writing, yeah. And I prove that your writing is excellent, extraordinary quality. And I believe that, yeah, I just prove that your writing is coherent, neat, and flowing paragraph you have. And it's easier to follow your line of your thought. All right. Yeah, honestly, I don't have a question. I've just received the document tonight and I used to sleep at 9 p.m. So I just read this morning. Yes, all right. No problem. Don't worry about this. Before I'm coming to my question, I'm trying to summarize my understanding of the introduction of the study, right? I am interested in your explanation on the basis of theory and methodology. That basically technology cannot replace humans. Yeah, I agree this. Especially in this case, human as a teacher, right? Teacher as a human. And until now, I believe, I see that in developing interactional system and design and e-learning, I believe it has not been able to imitate human who have feelings, thought, and the way of thinking. Yeah. And also human as responsive to the stimuli from students, right?
Yes.
Who have feelings of thought and the way of thinking by themselves. So that teacher is a human, and I believe that he responsive to observe stimuli from students. like happy, happiness, like, and we know that my student when happy, we have to, where we can see. Yeah, that is stimuli from the student condition. And I thought, I think that I believe that the e-learning cannot replace the kind of these cases, right? I'm trying to hear. You have stated your dissertation on this. But on the other hand, there have been also training institutions that have held some training, online training, like some MOOC system platform, and many participants of this kind of training even can getting work, getting job. That's the good. What is the chance and the opportunity to the online learning is good for them. This is such a contradictory situation of e-learning, right? Even more massive before COVID-19, and getting more massive during this pandemic COVID-19. In my opinion, yes, but e-learning has two roles, function as e-learning media, as media learning, or media of learning, or a system of teaching and learning. This two functions, is my opinion. Functions of e-learning is media, and also the system of learning. These two roles is blended into one system of e-learning. It's my opinion. As a learning media, I read some theories, cognitive theory, information processing theory has a lot of influence on the effectiveness of e-learning as a learning media, such as does a media strengthen processor or memory aspect. There is a media, usually media designer or developer based on this kind of theory, cognitive theory. There is like computer, right? There is sensory, there is processor, there is also there as a memory. This usually media is developed. But the second aspect is as learning system. There's two. One is media and system. The effectiveness of learning is influenced by how far or to what extent the designer integrate learning theories that generally exist in the realm of cognitivism, constructivism, generally the theory used in the system of e-learning. The problem might be on cognitive formation, might be putting you here. Formation and cognitive process. How could students acquire knowledge? That is not only on the formation of the cognitive formation, but also how the process of cognition. The process, how the student acquire knowledge, how knowledge is acquired by the students. And now I come on my question. Could you explain why you are more interested in the formation of students' cognitive competence and e-learning, rather than the process of student acquiring knowledge through e-learning? That's my question. could you just explain? I think all of this response are already in the legislation. Okay, Michael, could you explain why you are more interested in structure of formation of cognitive competence?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Professor, for the question. The formation of students' cognitive competence depends on algorithm process in e-learning system, because at the initial stage, students should have their own goal and they should know what they will learn in the e-learning system. Otherwise, the motivation will be missing and they can just leave the online platform, and it leads to unsuccessful education process. So cognitive competence, it's ability to effectively plan and organize activities of students, and they also such kind of skills, analyzing, critical thinking, problem-based, to find problem solutions, etc. There is also components such as motivational, informational, and reflexive. Motivation is very important in e-learning system because if student has motivation, the brain function works very well, and they can store the information for long term, and later they can recall the knowledge and use it in real life. And informational component is also very important because they should be aware of importance of e-learning system and e-learning materials. And reflexive component is also very important because when they acquire the knowledge from the internet, they should reflect their actions in real life. It's the process of formation of cognitive competence in students in the e-learning system. Thank you for the question.
Yeah. Do you agree that the rest of knowledge acquisition through e-learning is also important?
Knowledge acquisition is very important. Proximal development by Vygotsky is very important in e-learning system. For example, if a student opens the platform and he or she doesn't have any knowledge in this material, it will be not clear. It will be unclear to the student, and there is no success. So previous knowledge is very important in e-learning system. Thank you.
Okay. And in some of part of your research is also describing, explaining about the process of acquisition, but you most more interested in your structure. I hope that the constructive research will be after this, after finish this session, will be continued, right? How the students acquisition of knowledge through e-learning. This is my long question about the effectiveness of the e-learning in terms of how to develop knowledge, even how to develop skills through e-learning. But I also agree that I think you think that the first step on the research in this e-learning, I think, is structure completion very important. All right, I agree with this. Yeah, my second question is about research methodology. Okay, the objective of the research in searching for scientific truth, or searching truth, one of the researching for scientific truth, so that to examine the extent to which or how far the research meet the standard of scientific investigation, we have to find in the methodology of the methodology section, right? So could you just explain if your research has followed the step of finding through scientific process or scientific truth? Just focus on how to select participant of the research, how to select students to be interviewed and to be interviewed. In tabel 9, you use questioning, yeah. Nothing. I think in English is not much. Yeah. Maybe you just interviewing. Did you use something like questionnaire or instrument? And what kind of questionnaire? Something like that. Yeah. Did you fabricate questionnaire or make it or write by yourself or use the other from other people?
Yes, during our research work, we used method techniques by Karpov. It's about how to assess students' reflexive reflection. And also we used perceived stress scale, which was developed in the USA for educational system to measure the stress in the students in the education system. And other techniques, problem-based learning and blended learning, and also cognitive approach learning, language learning approach, also content language, integrated learning technology. We also used our elective course during our research work to check the formation of students' cognitive competence. And all these technologies are the most effective methods for the formation and development of cognitive competence in students in higher education system. And also we proposed our manual. It's called Scenarios in Pedagogical Measurements. We collected experience scenarios from students, they experience such situations at their workplace or at the university, and they discussed and solved the problem by themselves by using their theoretical knowledge in education system. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, you also mentioned in your methodology, you also assess task.
Yes. And we also developed our own analysis system, which is measured by 10 stands. From 0 to 3, it's low level, and from 4 to 7, it's average level, and from 7 to 10, it's high level. So this analysis diagnostic map could show us if student has developed his or her own cognitive skills or not.
Did you use the kind of rubric or criteria to assess to classify the task?
Oh, yes. According to 3 components: motivational activity component, and informational activity component, and reflective activity component. Each component has its own indicators. For example, motivational component we checked the development of sensitivity to signals, new information, and tolerance to uncertainty and misunderstanding of new information, and also competence in determining the significance and other qualities of information and its source, and active attitude to the process, results of understanding and desire to be captured, included in the training and satisfied with it. An informational component has such criteria. For example, competence of contextualizing information, localizing it in a certain context, ability to see information as a part of the context, and also competencies of recentering, rethinking, and ability to highlight the key information in the context and separate the main and secondary structure information, existing information in new contexts, etc. And the ability to perceive and reproduce the information as a logical sequence to build information into related story. And in reflexive component, there are criteria like critical and reflexivity of understanding themselves and the world by the subject of the educational situation, and including those who develop and implement digital learning technologies, and also criticality in understanding the means and techniques and other digital and general education system. And all these criteria are also assessed by 10 stands. We use 10 stands in our research work.
All right. Okay. So your research procedure is, according to me, is already with the standard of the scientific investigation. All right. I have a suggestion concerning the diction selection. Like I just stated before, you can table 19. Yeah, you use questioning. Questioning is usually for police. Police are just to interrogate suspect, right? So use interviewing, right? In English, it's no problem. I think it's my suggestion, and also this the very table 2, I think table 2, which I don't remember. Indonesia terbuka universitas ya. Terbalik ya, exchange. Universitas terbuka.
Different
Indonesia itu terbalik change.
different patterns in English and in Indonesia.
Proceed with English. Open university is universitas terbuka in Indonesia. In page 8, table 2, this small typo. Good, I think it's enough. My question is enough, and finish. Time is for Mr. Chairman. Back to Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Parjono from UNY. As you know, Professor Parjono in Indonesia is familiar with Professor John. Like in Western country, John. Yes, Professor Parjono. Now, the second examiner, as the international reviewer, Professor Aventiva Mariam Rafilivna from Socio-Economic Faculty of Humanitarian Academy, Russia. Professor Mariam, hello. Hello, Professor Mariam.
Алло, здравствуйте.
Thank you very much. Now the second examiner, it's time for yours. Please give the question or suggestion on the Gulzhaina. Time is yours. About 50 minutes.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги, члены диссертационного совета. Очень рада встретиться с вами на таком замечательном событии, как защита Гульзhainy Коралбаевны. Я хотела сказать, что защита Гульзhainy Коралбаевны, диссертация Гульзhainy Коралбаевны посвящена одной из очень важных и актуальных тем. Тема, конечно, изучалась достаточно многими учеными, но, к сожалению, она изучалась в достаточной мере фрагментарно. И системного исследования этой темы до сих пор практически не осуществлено. Хотя запрос на такое системное исследование большой. И в этом смысле работа Гульзhainy Коралбаевны очень важна. И она действительно посвящена такому, с одной стороны, очевидному моменту, который говорит о том, что да, поскольку цифровые устройства являются квинтэссенцией достижений человеческого разума на сегодняшний момент, то, конечно, взаимодействие с ними не может не оказывать существенного влияния на развитие человечества в целом, на развитие его когнитивных функций. Это самая очевидная констатация, тем не менее, имеет очень много, несет с собой очень много разных вопросов. И в действительности такой постановки вопроса, которую сделала в своей работе Гульжана Каралбаевна, очень мало. И работа, конечно, имеет, несомненно, и теоретическое, и практическое актуальность и значение. И она имеет значение также и, конечно, для практики цифрового обучения, потому что сейчас мы видим уже практически многоступенчатую, да, и в работе Гульжаны Каралбаевны это тоже представлено, многоступенчатую, многоэтапную историю цифрового обучения, хотя, конечно же, оно сейчас все еще находится на раннем этапе своего становления. В работе Гульжаны Каралбаевны выстроена трехуровневая, трехэтапная система. Работа состоит из 3 глав. Одна глава посвящена методологическим аспектам цифрового обучения и развития когнитивных способностей обучающихся. Вторая глава посвящена дидактическим аспектам развития и формирования познавательных способностей учащихся. И третья глава описывает результаты эмпирического исследования. Нужно сказать, что данная работа выстроена практически в согласии со всеми канонами диссертационных исследований. Она полностью соответствует и содержательно, и структурно требованиям к диссертационным работам этого уровня. Можно сказать, что в работе раскрываются многосторонние эффекты формирования цифровой компетентности. И очень важно то, что соискатель не просто описывает какие-то отдельные фрагменты, не просто констатирует эффекты, но активно проблематизирует тему своего исследования. И работа насыщена, даже местами перенасыщена очень важными, интересными, красивыми выводами, резюме, обобщениями, ну и даже просто рисунками. Это говорит о том, что вообще Гульжана Каралбаевна отнесла к своему исследованию с очень большим интересом. И она показала, что цифровое обучение требует высокой мотивации. Оно требует высокой мотивации от разработчиков, оно требует высокой мотивации от исполнителей, оно требует достаточно серьезных и больших усилий по обеспечению того, что всегда было в центре педагогических усилий, это качество образования. И действительно, этот вывод, он просматривается на протяжении всей диссертации, потому что именно качество образования, в том числе с помощью цифровых устройств, решает вопрос о том, будет ли развиваться когнитивные способности человека или они развиваться не будут. Усилиями Гульжаны Каралбаевны в ее экспериментах все-таки достигнуты позитивные результаты. Ну и мы знаем, что, в принципе, благодаря усилиям педагогов всего мира, те, которые стремятся и передавать знания, у многих хорошо получается. Но, конечно же, проблема остается достаточно острой, потому что речь идет о том, чтобы формировать цифровую культуру общества, о том, чтобы разрабатывать действительно эффективные моменты. Но это, конечно, не предполагает какой-то одноминутной работы, которая может быть очень легко и просто реализована. Это действительно большой труд. Я бы хотела сказать, что работа Гульжаны Коралбаевны получила апробацию в большом количестве исследований. Причем это публикации были самых разных уровней. И публикационная активность Гульжаны Коралбаевны, она заслуживает очень высокой оценки. Я также хочу отметить, что вот сейчас Гульжана Коралбаевна представила нам презентацию, и доклад Гульжаны Коралбаевны можно оценить очень высоко. Она большая молодец, она умеет хорошо представлять данные, не только в уровне самого текста диссертации, который хорошо написан, но и на уровне вот такой краткой презентации. Это говорит еще раз о ее действительно высокой компетентности и готовности выполнять функции доктора наук философии. Ну и в заключение я бы хотела сказать, что действительно работа Гульжаны Коралбаевны соответствует всем требованиям, которые предъявляются к докторским диссертациям, и она достойна того, что ее работа достойна того, чтобы получить признание и присвоить степень доктора философских наук. Спасибо вам за внимание. Всего доброго.
Thank you very much, Professor Miriam. I think we are not understand with the Russian language, but I hope Zaina is understand with your question or your suggestion. Ms. Zaina, can
Yes,
you
thank you
answer?
very much, Professor Pentiva. And she sent also a translation of her speech in chat box. You can get and read it when you have time. Thank you.
Okay, this is an question from Professor Miriam to Zaina on, but only suggestion.
She recommended and suggested.
Just only recommended, yes.
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 Dear colleague and head of Consilium, please let me to introduce my speech. My name is Aygirim Kusherbayeva, professor Abay University of Abay University and supervisors of Gulzhaina Koralbayevna.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Aygirim. Maybe you can introduce.
I'm sorry because today I'm very busy. But I will want to introduce several my ideas. То есть я сразу говорю, что мы поддерживаем, конечно, здесь и супервайзеры находятся, и Оспан Силдулаевич, профессор Сангельбаев. Я, значит, зарубежный супервайзер, но я все-таки бы хотела, поддерживая эту работу, сказать несколько аспектов, которые касаются именно организации, не самой диссертации, а именно организации вот сегодняшнего, так сказать, дефенса. Так, please let me make my speech in English. The theme of Gulzhaina Kasimova dissertation is certainly relevant. A cooperation agreement was signed between the universities of Jakarta and Abay, according to which all actions, including discussions, examination, and other of the dissertation should be discussed by best supervisors of the two universities and completed with the approval of the supervisors. Therefore, today's defense organized by the University of Jakarta was a surprise for me, for us, for my colleague. Here there is some inconsistency because the dissertation that is being defended was completely carried out by the Kazakh side and is now at the second stage of expertise, of examination. The supervisors of Mrs. Kosherbayeva, Aygirim, it I, and Mr. Sangilbayev, Professor Sangilbayev, Osman of Abay University, put a lot of effort and energy into this dissertation. So it is not clear why Mr. Bruri Trioni did not discuss these issues together with the Kazakh supervisors before today's. I didn't. For example, the chapters of the history of learning in dissertation, the section on artificial and emotional intelligence, and the experimental part are all my idea and my correction of Professor Sangilbayev. Of course, the students Kasımova Gulzhaina is hardworking, and I support her position. But I would like the Jakarta University to take into account these ethical and moral norms in relation to supervisors of Abay University. Because in Kazakhstan, high requirements are imposed on dissertation. Even after the defense, they will be on the world side for 5 years. And any person can get acquainted with it. Thank you very much, my colleague. I support this dissertation, but I would like that you value our position. То есть я, уважаемые коллеги, сказала о том, что диссертации мы, значит, отечественные супервайзеры вложили очень много действительно консультаций, очень много мы совещались все втроем. Этому свидетельство, значит, вот, наверное, Успан Сидулаевич свои доводы об этом скажет. Но единственное, поддерживая диссертацию, мы бы хотели все-таки, я бы от своего имени хотела бы сказать, чтобы после подписания соглашения, которое имеется у нас, все же вот эти вот стороны, Джакарта и, значит, Абай Университи, как бы вот согласовывали все свои дальнейшие действия. Спасибо большое.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor Aygirim, as co-supervisor that give the explanation about the dissertation of Gulzhaina. Thank you. And then number 4, the examiner is Professor Putu Sudira from UNY. To Professor Putu Sudira, time is yours by 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Chairman, Professor Yanda. Dear Board of Examiner, China, I enjoy reading your thesis, and then I asked to clarify a few things about your thesis. We know learning is an active process of construction knowledge, accepting and analyzing the value of new knowledge, then putting the value of new knowledge in new action. Constructivism explains that there is a process of adaptation, namely as assimilation and accommodation of experience, and a cognitive construct as a result of a cognitive conflict. Learning takes place as a process of human interaction with human and machine, human and the real world, and human and the virtual world. I want to ask you, why you interested in cognitive competence related the new technology now? Please, can you describe my question? Please, Jaina.
Yes, thank you very much for the question, dear professor. So why we have chosen cognitive competence? You know, cognitive psychology is new science, we can say, in general, because it was developed started to develop in last centuries. Even online education process has started its root in 1758 when distance education took place by papers, by post. Nowadays, there is a big problem, issues in online education. For example, students and learners, they are very busy with their tablets, and some psychologists, they say there is missing a lack of emotional communication. Also, online education doesn't provide human relationship to people, among people. But nowadays, as we have researched, there are a lot of simulators which provide cognitive development. For example, students can, especially in language learning, students who learn language, they can train their language skills, listening, speaking, writing skills on the simulator. And students must use the benefits of technology and combine the technology in education system, not only think about the bad sides, downsides of the technology. It should be developed simultaneously in the same way like in a traditional lesson. And so that's why we have chosen cognitive competence development, formation of cognitive competence in students, because mostly actions and tasks are based on the e-learning materials, and the question tasks were initially based on just choosing one correct answer, but nowadays it should be changed to challenging tasks in order to generate the brain function of students, and in order they could think out of box and generate their skills and open their potential skills, abilities in real time, in real life.
Okay, right. Can you relate this cognitive ability with TIFET program?
Could you repeat your question, please?
Can you relate this cognitive ability or cognitive competencies with TIFET program development?
Yes. For example, during our research, we observed the Education First platform, where students could learn English language, and they did their lessons online and anytime in 24 hours. And once a week, they met their teachers face to face. They had a lesson for 90 minutes. And I have observed that at the beginning, some students could not speak properly in English, but after some time, when they have already trained their language skills, they got their metacognitive skills developed by the system Education First, because it's an online cloud-based program. But behind this program, there are also people who created this educational program. And from the first sight, it looks like the student is makes a relationship with only computer, but it's not, because the program is developed by human beings, and the technology is like tool, teaching tool. they use this technology program, but they communicate somehow with a human via computer technology. So we can say we are sure that computer technology can develop students' cognitive abilities if computers are used properly in a correct way.
Okay, right. Your study is very related with the new cognitive ability demand in 2020 as the first demand in the world. Maybe your thesis, your dissertation is very good for that demand. Thank you. And then, how does the learning process occur in human cognitive, and then in as affective and skill development?
What do you mean with the question?
How does the learning process occur in human as cognitive, affective, and skill development?
Okay. Thank you for the question. So e-learning is related to cognition. We say yes. As I mentioned before, a student who does his lessons online or based on cloud-based platforms, they should have proximal previous knowledge. If a student doesn't have any knowledge, it will be very difficult to use e-learning materials. So e-learning should be implemented or used as a teaching tool in higher education, because in higher education, students are getting more adult and they know their goals and motivation, what they want to know and to study. It's not like in school. That's why we recommend to use e-learning in higher education system, not in schools. So that's why we can say we can see the connection between e-learning and cognition when they when students act to study or to learn something for themselves, for self-education. For example, in our experiment study, we used to give to our students some student independent work. The lessons were in English, and they could develop their English skills independently out of classroom. They used different platforms like Voice of America or English First or YouTube educational programs, and they could train their speaking and writing skills, and they could, as a result, show good positive development in cognition, in their cognition. If we compare students from schools, they couldn't do it because there were also some research works where mass media video technology was used in the classroom, but younger learners couldn't develop their cognition because they didn't know what kind of goals they have. They need always direction of the student. As teachers should direct them always. But in higher education system, students are adult and they know what to do. So that's why we can see the connection between e-learning and cognition in higher education systems.
Okay. You use e-learning. Yeah. How are cognitive competence constructed in learning a process using e-learning technology?
Cognitive construct, you mean?
Yeah. Cognitive competency constructed in the learning process.
Yes, this is related to our model. We proposed a model which consists of 8 stages. Each stage is passed. It should be implemented in algorithm way, not in the same simultaneously. Firstly, for example, if students know their own goal and conditions and principles, how to study, and second, they should know learning styles, methods. Teachers should identify the methods in the e-learning system. And also, recognition of the importance of the information is very important. And next, isolation of criteria and planning diagnostic systems for the assessing development or formation of cognitive competence for future professional interaction. And also stage 6 is associated with the implementation of content in the right way based on the e-learning system. And we should use also output and input diagnostics during our during our research work, and we did it, and as a result, we could get positive dynamics of formation of cognitive competence. So cognition is related to e-learning as a teaching tool or as a learning material to develop further skills of students in higher education systems.
What the e-learning model good for cognitive competency development?
It depends on the personality of students. Some students, if they are very sociable or they don't like e-learning because they need more social interaction with people. But mostly this type of this method, e-learning in higher education is very effective because we searched master students in our research, because master students they know about the benefits of the e-learning than bachelor students. For example, master students, they could work and they could study their lessons at any time when they have time. So that's why we note and we highlight that e-learning system is much more effective in higher education system.
Okay, the last. Why you don't use cognitive theory? You just use behaviorism and constructive theory. Why you don't use? You did not use cognitive theory in learning.
Yes, cognitive science is very new. Still, it needs some aspects to be researched and further developed. For example, in cognition, stress is very important. As we conducted some survey and we found out that almost all students and teachers, they feel stress during educational systems, even before exam or after exam. And that's why it's important to search this field of science. Cognition and brain-based learning is important for the future education, I think.
Okay, next time check again. Thank you, Chairman. Time for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Putri Sudhira. That was give the question, also suggestion to Ms. Jaina. Number 5 now is time for Professor Dr. Muhammad Budi Triyono as supervisor, also as examiner. Time is your Professor Budi. About 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Zaina, congratulations for the first. And then I am as your supervisor. It's not make deep in question, but there are some questions to know about the result of your dissertation, especially about about the module or book as a part of your dissertation that you have made it. And then I know that module is very complicated, and it's about monitoring and pedagogical measurement, applied learning scenarios, a practical introduction to problem-based learning using scenario or monitoring and pedagogical measurement as a case study. And I guess that you used this module when you were in Indonesia in Yogyakarta State University or Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. And then I have some questions. But the first question is about forward that you have made that module.
Yes, the manual was developed and proposed for the development cognitive skills in students in higher education. We came up with some problem-based tasks for students, and we continued to work with the students from Yogyakarta State University via email after my internship at your university. And we completed this manual by interacting with the students and value their cognitive competence skills, how they answer, how they solve the problem, and how they present their theoretical knowledge in educational way. This manual is devoted for higher education teachers and also for students to improve the educational process. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Do you have some problem when you use that module? What's the benefit that you have got after you try to refer that module to the student or to the teacher who will meet it, who will use it?
During this research time, we found out that students could develop their writing skills, especially the students from from Yogyakarta State University. They completed the task in a written form and they sent me by email, and I have seen that their writing skills developed and they could present their ideas in a correct way and by using some theories and based on the famous facts, and they also could demonstrate their skills to solve the problem in educational system while teaching when they faced some difficulties, etc. So it was a benefit for Indonesian students. For Kazakhstani students, they could develop their speaking skills because they were doing some research, conducting and getting interviews with teachers and how to solve the problem, etc. When they faced some problems, they could get more information and data collection. They could analyze the situation. As a result, they presented their good results in analyzing the situation, and they could analyze the students' problem, troublemaking students from different sides, what's possible and what's the problem of teaching. Thank you.
Okay, the last questions. I know that this module that you have made is very special and then very benefit to use to the others people to use it. But how to disseminate your module to others? Because in my mind, I think it's not easy to disseminate this module to others because it's a product of dissertation. Do you have a plan to disseminate this module?
Yes, in the future, I would like to implement such methods in each lesson as individual student work. For example, if we give students problem-based tasks and they could work independently, and it motivates and opens their potential, and students can perform their ideas in a free way. In such way, a teacher can open students' potential to fully, and it's good when students are ready to solve problems in real life after graduating from the student. Till now, from my experience, from my study, I know when I studied at universities, we based on text-based textbooks and also exercises which were written in a book. We could do it and then check the answers, but in problem-based tasks, it cannot be checked. Students should prove their own ideas. And also nowadays we have problem in online education. Some researchers say online education is not safe because somebody can answer instead of a student and get a diploma for somebody. If the tasks in online education based on problem-based tasks, this problem will not take place in online education system. We could solve this problem in such way. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Zaina, good luck to your plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Muhammad Rudi Triyono from UNY Indonesia. Now, we have time for Professor Dr. Osman. Maybe you have a recommendation, also suggestion to the dissertation of Zaina. Prof. Osman. This recommendation was presented by Professor Ajeri, maybe Asian. Yeah, tadi kan Asian.
Osman ağay, siz de şakırıp жатыр.
Professor Osman, are you still join this examination? Okay. Please, this is time for you, Professor Osman.
Оспан, енді сөйлесеңіз, сізге сөз берді ғой, диссертация туралы. Қазақша айта беріңіз.
He said he's connecting again because some technical problems.
Yeah, might be problem with connecting, maybe. Okay, thank you very much. For Professor Osman with problem with internet, maybe then Professor Ajirin was give recommendation before Professor Osman as supervisor. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Before we finish the examination, I am as chair of the doctoral program defense. I will give some suggestion, also question to Zaina. Number one is about the suggestion or recommendation. Number one is about your title. In English is, I think you should be make the good sentence about the title. I read your title and correlation with your content in dissertation. Title must be, maybe it's okay if you change plus on. formation of student cognitive competence based on the e-learning system, because in the content of your dissertation is based on, not based the, because the based the is not standard in English structure. Number 2, about your subject of dissertation. You write the subject is same of your title in the introduction content. So maybe you can check again about the subject of the research. And then number 3, I have a question maybe about your result of the you write in the dissertation about the e-learning system and correlated with formation student cognitive competence. I know about the student cognitive competence is easy to solve by e-learning system. How about the another competence? Might be effective, might be skill ability, might be psychomotoric. It's easy to arrange by e-learning system or not? Please give the suggestion. You understand, China?
Yes, thank you very much. I will improve the title based on the e-learning system. I think it's a technical problem. The word was skipped from the title. I'm very sorry about it. But it was based on the e-learning system.
Алло, здравствуйте, у меня сеть что-то прервалась.
Okay, Professor Aban, maybe wait a moment. We after that you will give the time for you. Maybe wait a moment, by 5 minutes.
Что-то мен шығып кетті ғой линиядан.
5 минут күте тұрыңыз дейді қазір.
Ана Zoom'ның уақыты бітіп қалды ма?
Jena?
Yes.
Yeah. If Professor Osman will give the recommendation is after I ask you, maybe 5 minutes again.
Okay.
Okay. I continue the question that the competence about the psychomotor ability and affective. I think it's not easy to solve by e-learning system. In Indonesia, we have problem about the e-learning system. Although the e-learning system is good in era of pandemic COVID-19, but in the normal condition, I can make the competence about cognitive skill and other for maybe for technique, maybe for science, maybe for music. It's not easy to by e-learning. How about your comment? How about this, your comment?
Yes, it's not easy to develop students' cognition because it is related, connected to the brain of students, and it's not very easy. And cognitive development depends not only on the educational process, it depends on some factors such as food, eating, and physical being, well-being. Also, even a student teacher teaches students with high level, but if a student has other problems such as financial or maybe family problems, they cannot develop their cognition. So, and the other problem in cognition development competence was digital competence. Maybe it's better to develop also digital skills before cognitive development based on e-learning system of students.
Okay.
I think also in the same way like you, I agree with your ideas.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Zaina. And now, if Professor Osman can join again, maybe you can give the advice or recommendation, Professor Osman? Time is you, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, maybe. Hello, Professor. Okay.
Мен естіліп тұрмын ба сіздерге?
Я Осман.
Меня слышно, да? Ага. Құрметті әріптестер, мынау мен біріншіден Индонезия елінде болып атқан мынау түрлі табиғат катаклизмге байланысты көңіл айтып, өзімнің көңілімді білдіргім келіп тұр. Сіздердің елдеріңізде сол табиғи катаклизмге байланысты көптеген халықтар зардап шегіп жатыр, адамдар қайтыс болғаны да бар. Соған байланысты біріншіден сіздерге көңіл айтқым келеді. Енді құрметті әріптестер.
Мен сізді аударып отырайын, жарайды ма? Pak Osman, yang pertama, terima kasih untuk kasih kesempatan sampaikan semua salam dari saya, dan saya mau kasih my deep kasihan tergantung kondisi sekarang di dunia, khususnya di Indonesia. Dan saya mau terima kasih yang hadir di acara ini hari ini untuk semua bapak dan ibu-ibu.
Рахмет. Құрметті әріптестер, енді мен Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы туралы жалпы докторант ретінде, жалпы осы ғылыми ізденісте жасаған еңбектеріне байланысты қысқаша ғана пікірімді айтқым келеді. Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы жалпы ғылыми ізденіске магистратура курсынан, бакалавриат курсынан бастап өзінің сондай бір белсенділігін танытқан, және өзінің ғылымға деген қызығушылығын танытқан тұлғаның бірі деп айтуға болады. Сол кезден бастап мен мүмкіндік берейін аударуға?
Saya mau cerita tentang orang Gulzhaina dari bachelor dan master degree. Dia ingin banget bekerja dengan scientific research, dan dia di sini sekarang di depan kita bersiapin report dia secara baik dan secara pengalaman.
Енді Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы өзінің еңбекқорлығымен, ізденімпаздығымен және ғылымды сыйлауымен бір ерекшеленеді.
Dan yang selalu kerja rajin dan selalu menggunakan dokumen yang benar.
Сондай ізденімпаздығын қолдап, өздеріңізден стажировка өтуге мүмкіндік туғызып, және осындай жұмысқа өте жауапкершілікпен қарап, осылай талқылау жасап отқандарыңызға біріншіден алғыс білдіргім келеді.
Dan pertama saya mau terima kasih semua peserta pewakil universitas yang untuk kasih pengalaman untuk Gulzhaina dan kasih sekarang diskusi di acara ini.
Дегенмен осы Индонезия тарапынан Жагакарта мемлекеттік университетінің өкілі, біздің әріптесіміз, сол шетелдік кеңесші және бұл жұмысқа қос дипломдық жұмыс ретінде қабылданып атқаннан кейін бір-біріміздің арамызда келісім шарттың болып, сол келісімге байланысты алдын ала ақылдасып отырсақ, менің ойымша біздің жұмысымыз алға қарай жүреді және келісімнің негізінде нәтижені жоғары береді деп ойлаймын. Оны Әйгерім Нұралина айтып кетті ғой.
Pada saya, namun dari acara ini kita lihat kita kurang pengalaman bekerja bersama. Kalau di masa depan seperti Ibu Aygerim dulu bilang, kalau kita ada kesempatan bekerja bersama seperti lokal dan asing kurator, bekerja dulu antara profesional level, setelah itu bekerja dengan anak-anak yang belajar.
Рахмет. Енді қысқаша мен жалпы диссертациялық ізденістің мазмұнына тоқталсам, Қасымова Гүлжайна Құралбайқызының Ленин білім беру жүйесі негізінде студенттердің танымдық құзыретін қалыптастыру деп атаумен 6D 103-20 педагогика және психология мамандығы бойынша PhD философия докторы ғылыми дәрежесіне ізденушінің диссертациясына аздап пікірімді білдіртейін. Диссертациялық зерттеу жұмысында Қасымова Гүлзайна Құралбайқызы баллон декларациясының талаптарын басшылыққа ала отырып, студенттердің интеллектуалдық мүмкіндіктерін арақашықтан оқыту арқылы танымдық құзыреттерін дамыту мәселесін қарастырған.
Dan sekali saya mau kasih opini seperti konsultan ilmiah disertasi Kasımova Gulzhaina membentukkan kompetensi kognitif mahasiswa berbasis sistem e-learning dipresentasikan untuk gelar doktor filsafat bidang keahlian pedagogi dan psikologi. Penelitian disertasi dilakukan dengan mempertimbangkan persyaratan deklarasi Bagna yang bolongga yang menyediakan pembelajaran jarak jauh yang ditujukan untuk kemampuan intelektual siswa.
Рахмет. Қазіргі жоғарғы оқу орындарында білім беру жүйесі оқытудың ақпараттық және коммуникативтік технологияларының методологиясына сүйенбей оқытуды нәтижелі іске асырады дегенге біз сенбейміз. Бәріңіз педагог ретінде, жастармен жұмыс істеп отырған сондай ғалым педагог ретінде бұны жақсы білесіздер деп ойлаймын.
Menggunakan kemampuan kecerdasan buatan dalam pendidikan dan memfasilitasi komunikasi instan antara siswa dan guru yang akan didapat terhubung ke sumber daya yang diperlukan kapan saja dengan mempertimbangkan prinsip individualisasi pembelajaran.
Рахмет. Мұнда жасанды интеллекттің мүмкіндіктерін пайдалану студенттер мен оқытушылардың оларға қажетті сәтінде қарым-қатынастарын жеке даралық ерекшеліктерін ескеру принципіне байланысты. Бұл жерде бар ресурстар пайдаланып, кез келген оларға қолайлы уақытта тиімді қолдануға мүмкіндік береді. Мысалы, қазіргі білім жүйесінде басты жайттардың бірі осы виртуалды шынайылықты қолданып, оқыту тәжірибесінің әлемдік деңгейде ғылыми әдістемелік еңбектерге толық қолжетімдігі деп есептеймін.
Salah satu syarat terpenting dari pendidikan modern adalah pengumuman realitas maya untuk mengoptimalkan dan membuat pengalaman belajar yang menarik dan menyaksikan serta menyediakan akses ke literatur ilmiah dan metodologis di tingkat dunia.
Студенттердің когнитивті құзыреттілігін e-learning жүйесі арқылы қалыптастыру мәселесі өзінің жаңалығымен ерекшеленеді. Яғни Гүлзайна Құралбайқызы зерттеуді әдістемалық тұрғыдан негіздеп, зерттеу нәтижесін қамтамасыз ету мақсатында зерттеу міндеттерін іске асыратын кешенді теориялық және эмпирикалық әдістерді қолдана білді.
Studi tentang masalah pembentukan kompetensi kognitif siswa berdasarkan sistem e-learning diceritakan oleh kebaruannya dan Kasımova Gulzhaina mendekati studi masalah ini dengan cara yang logis, secara metodologis memastikan pencapaian efektivitas dengan metode teoritis dan empiris yang kompleks. Pendekatan langkah demi langkah untuk pelaksanaan tugas penelitian yang didefinisikan dengan jelas.
Енді кез келген зерттеу жұмысында тұжырымдамалық, концептуалдық тұғырларды талдау негізінде тұлғаның когнитивті құзыреттілігін қалыптастырудың мән мазмұнын, құрылымдық компоненттерін, деңгейлерін, критерийлер мен көрсеткіштерін анықтап, олардың оқыту іс-әрекетіндегі рөлін толыққанды айқындаған зерттеуші.
Pertimbangan hasil penelitian memungkinkan untuk mengambil kesimpulan tentang tingkat validitas dan maaf kalau saya sedikit ganggu, reliabilitas yang tinggi. Reliabilitas dan validitas hasil pertama terletak pada fakta bahwa berdasarkan analisis pendekatan konseptual untuk membentukkan kompetensi kognitif seseorang esensinya komponen structural level kriteria indikator ditentukan.
студенттердің жалпы когнитивтік қызылықтарының құрылымдық мазмұндық моделін e-learning оқыту жүйесінің негізінде солымен байланыстыра отырып, жұмыста жоба ұсынылды, оны іске асырылды. Бұл модель эксперименттік зерттеулердің нәтижелерімен қамтылып, когнитивтік құзыреттілікті жаңағы эффективтілігін нәтижесін зерттей отырып, Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы сценарий мониторинга и педагогических измерений, направленных на развитие когнитивных участия деген нақты электрондық оқулықты ұсынды. Электрондық оқуда осы мәселеге байланысты оқушылардың, студенттердің жалпы құзыреттілігіне демеу болатын түрлі әдістемелік жолдар көрсетілді.
Gulzhaina, Gulzhaina kasih buku dan reliabilitas dan validitas hasil ketiga tertinggi dari pelaksanaan tes eksperimental keefektifan model kontrol yang dikembangkan dari pembentukan kompetensi kognitif berbasis sistem e-learning dalam mengembangkan buku teks elektronik, monitoring dan pengukuran pedagogis yang bertujuan untuk mengembangkan keterampilan kognitif siswa.
Сонымен қатар, егер жұмыстың практикалық маңыздылығына тоқтайтын болсақ, мен Арпетьева Мариямға алғысымды білдіргім келеді. Ол кісінің зерттеу жұмысын мақала ретіп, монография ретінде жариялауға мүмкіндік туғызғанына, мынау халықаралық қатынас дәрежесінде бізде қолдау көрсеткеніне рахметімді айта отырып, сол монографияда феноменальная нейробиология языка деп аталатын үлкен Калуга мемлекеттік университетінде Россияда 2018 жылы Гүлжайнаның өзінің екпінді беделді әрекетімен зерттеулерінің нәтижесі жарияланды. Сонымен қатар зерттеудің өзін жүргізу арқылы нәтижелерді Австрия, Норвегияда, Индонезияда және Германияда оларға мүмкіндік бергеніне мен оларға да алғыс білдіргім келеді, және соның нәтижесін өзінің жұмысында мақалалар арқылы, жазған тезистер арқылы 69 барлығы. Жаңа кім Мариям өте дұрыс айтып кетті. Жалпы жариялау белсенділігі Гүлжайна Құралбайқызының өте жоғары, соның өзі көп нәрсені айтады. Көптеген докторанттар бұл жағынан өте бәріңіз жақсы білесіздер, белсенділігі төмен. Ал Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы өзінің баспаға жасаған ісінің бәрін беріп уақытында жариялап отырға белсенділігінің өте жоғары екенін жаңа айтып өтті. Мен соны толық қолдағым келеді, алғысымды да білдіргім келеді. Өйткені дер кезінде Скопус болсын, немесе біздің ККСО-ның жарияланымдары болсын, барлығында өзінің жеке ізденімпаздығымен, өзінің құрастыра білуімен мақалаларды жариялап отырды. Осының негізінде мен бітіре салайын өзімнің, енді көп сөйлеп кетсем, кешіріңіздер. Сонымен Гүлжайна Құралбайқызының e-learning білім беру жүйесі негізінде студенттердің танымдық құзыретін қалыптастыру тақырыбында орындалған диссертациялық жұмысы толыққанды бітіруге өте жақындаған жұмыс, бітіп тұрған жұмыс деп айтуға болады. Өз бетімен ізденіске ие жұмыс. Сонымен қатар, менің ойымша, осы жұмыстың авторы, соны орындаған Гүлжайна Құралбайқызына өзінің ізденіп отырған доктор философия PhD дәрежесін біздің мамандық бойынша 6-0-300 педагогика психология бойынша толыққанды менің ойымша ұсынуға болады. Және сіздердің қолдауларыңызды өтінемін. Рахмет.
Ibu Gulzhaina punya banyak publikasi, kelengkapan publikasi yang cukup dari ketentuan utama hasil kesimpulan skripsi, aprobasi dan implementasi hasil penelitian utama ke dalam praktek dilakukan dengan mempublikasikan dan mendiskusikan pada konferensi ilmiah, teoris dan praktis internasional dan Republik di bidang pendidikan. Pada seminar metodologi penulisan akademik di Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, pada panas Sekolah Doktor Norwegia tentang masalah pelaksanaan hasil penelitian, Dan dia mau terima kasih Ibu Mariam untuk bantu dengan publikasi makalah yang dipublikasi di Rusia 2008. Daftar karya yang diterbitkan berjumlah 69 judul, di antaranya 5 dalam publikasi ilmiah yang direkomendasikan oleh Committee for Control in Sphere of Education and Science.
Енді қосымша толтырып кетейін осы жерде. Бұл Гүлжайна Құралбайқызы өзінің еңбекқорлығымен қатар Айгерім Нұралықызы бірінші жетекші, ол кісінің бірігіп және айтып жатқан идеялар және жұмысқа тікелей қатысып, оны шығармашылық дәрежеге көтеруге және өңделіп талаптарға сәйкес келуіне атсалысып жатқан осы жетекшісіне де алғысымды білдіргім келеді. Айгерім Нұралықызының еңбегі бұл жерде ерекше, ерен деп айтуға болады. Рахмет.
Saya mau sampaikan terima kasih kepada local kurator Ibu Aygerim untuk bantu dan kasih pengalaman kesempatan untuk Gulzhaina. Dan saya mau terima kasih banget untuk foreign kurator di sekarang yang kasih bantuan dan baikan. Kesimpulan tentang kemudian memberi gelar Doctor of Philosophy karya disertasi Kasımova Gulzhaina. Gulzhaina pembentukan kompetensi kognitif mahasiswa berbasis sistem e-learning merupakan karya penelitian lengkap yang dilakukan oleh penulis secara mandiri. Tersebut memenuhi persyaratan untuk desain karya disertasi. Dari saya pribadi, terima kasih dan kasih skor yang terbaik untuk disertasi Ibu Gulzhaina.
15 апрельде Гүлжайна Құралбайқызының әдіснамалық жаңағы официально қорғаудың алдындағы өтетін метод семинардан қорғаныс болады, соған мүмкіндіктері болса қатысуға шақырамыз.
Dan tanggal 15 April ada lagi pidato tentang methodikal book Gulzhaina. Apakah ada kesempatan, bolehkah para peserta acara ini bisa ikut tanggal 15 April?
Ынтымақтастығымыз ұзағынан сүйіндірсін.
Semoga hubungan antara dua negara ke depan lanjut bekerja keras, baik. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Osman. That was give the recommendation for Zaina dissertation. Also, thank you very much Ibu Gulnur dari KBRI atau dari Indonesian Embassy. Makasih Bu Gulnur atas translate-nya untuk kami sehingga apa yang disampaikan oleh Profesor Osman bisa kita tangkap. Makasih sekali lagi Bu Gulnur.
Оспан аға мырза, сізге ризашылығымызды білдіреміз. Және осындай жақсы комментарияңызға мыңда бір рахмет. Және болашақта бірге жұмыс істерміз деген ойдамыз.
Kami akan mencoba join undangannya untuk 15 April. Nanti pidatonya Zaina di sana. Nanti ya paling beberapa lah perwakilan kami akan join untuk ikut di sana. Terima kasih.
15 сәуір күні біздің атымыздан бірнеше адамның қатысуын құптаймыз. Бізге линкті немесе ссылкасын берсеңіз, міндетті түрде қатысамыз.
Міндетті түрде үлкен рахмет. Сақтаныңыздар, сау болыңыздар.
Stay safe dan selalu sehat, tolong.
Ya, terima kasih, sama-sama sehat. Salam untuk semuanya teman-teman di sana.
Аха, аман болыңыздар және жақындарыңызды қорғай біліңіздер дейді.
Okay, thank you very much Bu Gulnur I think the session is finished for the different dissertation from China. We are now at the end of this question and answer session. Now, please allow to the all both seminar to discuss result of this different. I will bring about 5 minutes because we will discuss about the result of the dissertation for my team in Yogyakarta State University. Sena, we break 5 minutes, yes? I think, thank you very much for waiting me about 5 minutes.
5 минуттық пауза болады, қазір ол кісілер шешім қабылдаймыз деп жатыр.
Окей.
Рахмет.
Kita tidak usah. Hasil ini yang tadi direkam dari reviewer. Paling tidak nilainya berapa? the result of this dissertation defense. Okay, we will repeat. After the discussion of the examiner from UNY, on behalf of the board examiner, I would like to announce the result of this dissertation defense. The boards have agreed that you have defended the dissertation. Well, therefore, we decided to award you a doctoral degree in technology and vocational education. On behalf of the exam committee, Graduate School, Yogyakarta State University, I would like to congratulate to your achievement to Dr. Kasimova Gulzhaina. Maybe I was one person the first time call you by Dr. Kasimova Gulzhaina. Congratulations. Oh, Indonesia might be Dr. Zaina. Dr. Zaina. Honorable Co-Supervisor, Co-Supervisor, distinguished examiner, and examining Dr. Kasimova Gulzhaina, and all audience in this binational doctorate program defense. Firstly, I would like to congratulate Mr. Dr. Kasimova Gulzhaina, who was passed through tirelessly the struggle to complete her study under this binational doctoral program. In this very occasion, I would to thank you for the trust to graduate school and UNY. On behalf of the graduate school UNY or Yogyakarta State University, I would like to apologize for any shortcoming and inconvenience during your study here, Dr. Gulzhaina Kasimova. As our doctor number 638 in graduate school Yogyakarta State University, and doctor number 149 from Technology and Vocational Education Study Program UNY. Congratulations. I would like to highlight that your success is not the end of your achievement, but it should become the start of your further career. With regard to the dual degree from with AP KNPU Kazakhstan and UNY, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the university, and particularly to Professor Usman and Professor Al-Jirif. And we hope that collaboration between two universities, Yogyakarta State University and APKNPU, will be increased in the next time. If you have students, please come to UNY, and I will send my student to APKNPU Kazakhstan to make the joint and collaboration between two universities. We sincerely hope that the program will be maintained and strengthened in the future. And I would like that program will arranged by your leader, greeting for your rector or your president, and also my president has make greeting to your university. I would like the end of my speech in with highest appreciation to everyone who has attended this dissertation event. Thank you. May God bless us. Wassalamualaikum. Good afternoon. Selamat sore. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. And congratulations for Zaina.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. See you next time in the April
15.
April 15. April 15. Okay. Thank you.
Then you will get decoration as a doctoral degree in 15 April. Come on.
15 April. 15. 15
Yes.
April. Yes. Okay, I'll try to join you in 15 April.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Congratulations, Zaina and Professor Osman, Professor Aichirin. Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you. I love you.
I will left for this meeting maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shin.
Поздравляем.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Bisa duduk.
Его?
Sudah? Ya. Okay. See you again, Zaina. See you again next time.
Bitti mi?
Yeah.
Oldu mu ne?
But that was in the bad old days before I met you. When I let you walk into my heart. Congratulations and celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me. Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. I was afraid that maybe you thought you were above me, that I was only myself to keep love you. But then tonight you said you couldn't live without me. You're round about me. You wanted to stay. Congratulations, celebrations, when I tell everyone that you're in love with me. Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be.
Ya, sudah. Ya. Kita ini dengan beberapa negara kita
Siap tampil, girls? Siap bergerak atau sedang bergerak aktif?
kita ini dengan beberapa